Hey everyone, it's Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Today we have a fun guest appearance. So we have Hollywood Racks in the building, well technically in our parking lot, helping us get some hands-on training on some of their brand new bike racks. So right over here we have this whole setup and I'm super excited to share what I learned today about these brand new things. So hey, I'm Evangeline, how's it going?
Sean, good to meet you.
It's so exciting that you're here. I've heard some really cool things about different people with their experience with trying out your new bike rack. So if you don't mind, I'd love to hear so much more about them.
Not a problem. So this is our new Crosstrack 1. It is designed to carry one bicycle. It is holding by the tires only, so it doesn't matter what kind of frame you have, whether it's a full suspension mountain bike, a carbon road bike, a beach cruiser, whatever. It doesn't matter what frame shape you have because it grabs the tires. Doesn't matter if it's carbon, aluminum, or anything. And it just wedges up against it. We also include with it a wheel block that pushes against the front wheel, and that helps keep front wheel wobble as you're driving down the freeway, backcountry roads, and just helps keep the bike a lot more stable. So that's a nice feature that we've added in on this rack. Comes stock with it, and handle up front for folding down. So if you need to get into your trunk, super easy. So you can pop your trunk, get your gear out, get ready for the ride, clears everything. Does this on obviously the one bike and the two bike.
That's so cool. So I see it has a pretty good tilt away here. Love that. Does that change in terms of, let's say when you get like the larger bike rack, do you have pretty much the same tilt there?
It is going to be the same tilt. The two bikes going to tilt the same degree down, but obviously because it's longer, it'll come a little bit farther down. We haven't seen that it hits the ground on anything. It stops pretty well. I have a very tiny Fiat and I've used the two bike and it doesn't hit the ground. So if it's not gonna hit the ground in a Fiat, it's probably not gonna hit on anything else.
That's awesome. Like good ground clearance here. I have a smaller SUV here, so like my hitch sits pretty low to the ground and I do like how high up this sits. Now over on the truck though, I see we have the other bike rack.
Yep, we've got our two bike version over here. And you can see obviously on a larger vehicle, it's up much higher. When you do fold down, you're still got plenty of ground clearance. You're not going to run into any problems or anything like that.
And
plenty of room for the tailgate to come down.
Nice.
No issues.
That's awesome.
Even if this is up, your tailgate clears. Now, obviously, that's going to be a little different for every truck, every vehicle.
Yes.
So, but on this one, it works. We tested on this and I think it's the Toyota. It's fine.
Okay.
So
that's good to see.
It's got a 45 degree, so a regular hatchback, if you're just the rack on, no bikes, you can still get in without having to fold it all the way down and then up for normal transport.
All right, cool.
And these are only available as a one bike or a two bike.
bike.
We are not doing a four bike, so you either ride by yourself or you have friends. You have to decide when you buy the rack if you want to keep anybody in your car with you or just ride by yourself. So there's not an expandable option to it.
Well, that's a good overall view of it. Like it's definitely helpful for carrying your bikes of different shapes and sizes.
Yep.
I know you guys have a lot of cool other bikes. The Destination 4 is something that I always recommend to people that are first starting into riding their bikes. They have a family of bikes and they want something good for their family. Like you mentioned, this doesn't go up to 4, but it's also a very different type of bike rack. So what did you guys see in, I don't know, like the cycling world that had you think of the Crosstrack?
So our family of racks is kind of how we look at it. We have the Destination family, the Destination 2 and Destination 4. Those are entry-level racks for people that don't ride all the time. It's a family. They want to get the kids out to the local park or the beach or whatever that is. That's the Destination 2 and 4 are great for that. And then we have our family of e-bike racks, the Destination E and the Sport Rider and RV, and they're designed for e-bikes. And obviously, they'll carry any other bike. If it can carry an 80-pound e-bike, it can carry your 20-pound mountain bike, piece of cake. However, that's up here and it's more on the e-bike focused. That whole middle of, you know, what I affectionately call bike nerds, which I am a bike nerd, road bikes, gravel bikes, mountain bikes, stuff like that, like the bike on the Crosstrack 1, that customer, they want a little bit more than what the Destination 2 and Destination 4 offer, but they don't need the e-bike rack. So there's that whole middle that we were kind of like didn't have the right
Okay.
thing for them, and that's why we came up with the Crosstrack, that it fits that bike nerd kind of customer that wants to just leave the bike rack on their car all the time as a badge of, I ride bikes. And also friends after work, hey, you want to go ride after work? They don't have to worry about running home, getting the rack on the car and get the bike. They just go home, throw the bike on and go. So it's kind of aimed at that crowd, which is me. I'm guilty. I'm that guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, here at eTrailer, we call people that get our products our neighbors, because it's like a neighbor just across the street asking questions like, hey, I'm riding some bikes. I see you have something on your car. What's that? Tell me more about that. So it's definitely for your bike nerd neighbor that's super into it, wants something that's very specialized for them.
Yes.
Or actually, honestly, maybe more versatile.
It is a versatile
thing. That might be a better word, because like your electric bike rack specializes especially for electric bikes. Like you got the ramp, they got the weight capacity. Yeah. And then your destination is definitely a family rack.
Yes, there's weight limits on the destination, so it's why it's not aimed at the regular destination 2 and 4, not aimed at the e-bike crowd. But one nice thing about these is the weight limit on this is 66 pounds per tray. So this is going to be able to carry a lot of e-bikes. And a cool actual something on this, I'm going to show you a cool little trick.
Okay.
It doesn't come with a ramp, but these little red parts out here, you can get a ramp as an aftermarket, so you can wheel up your heavier performance e-bike, mountain bike, or a e-road bike. The only thing is, it doesn't work great with bikes with fenders.
Okay.
Think of it this way, because obviously rear fenders are going to get in the way here.
Yeah, all the way back there.
So if you've got an e-bike with fenders, unfortunately, weight-wise you're fine, but it's not going to work the way it grabs. That's where the Destination E is going to be a great product there.
True, because of that dual wheel mount style. You would prefer the Destination E with that frame mount instead.
Yeah, because it grabs the frame. Whereas, but if you've got a e mountain bike that's, those tend to be about 50 pounds, sometimes 60 pounds. This rack's going to be perfectly fine. It's not going to have the big rear fenders, so it's going to work great. So this is a pretty versatile rack still going to hold up for a lot of people. Yeah. It's just obviously you got that e-bike with fenders. We got the Destination E for that.
So I think my first question here, seeing this whole setup, is can I attach the ramp while the bike is on? Because obviously that's...
Yes, you can. You just have to make certain to fold this part down first.
That makes sense.
You fold it down, and then you can hook it up.
And then this goes on there.
Yep.
And then we have it all set up.
And the ramp is telescoping, so obviously a larger, higher tailgate truck. You want it a little bit lower to keep, longer to keep the ramp at a more gentle. When it's a lower, you can keep it shorter if need be, stuff like that.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to go as far. All right, that's really good to see. And I also see that wheel chuck up front. Yep. So does that mean I can use this with different types of bikes? So like this is an extra large frame. Obviously not my bike. I've got a small frame.
Yes.
And I find that sometimes trays are a little too long for me. Does this have the adjustment for a different type of mountain bike?
Yes, you can adjust. There's 2 positions. You can see a little hole right here. You can undo the screws on the other side and move it there. We ship it out of the box, set up in this position, because this is the position that's going to be good for most 29ers and 700C.
Which is what we have here.
So yeah, most road bikes and mountain bikes are 29er or 700. So that's generally where it's going to be. Obviously, every bike's a little bit different. If you got a really, really big tire, you might want to move it back a little bit
and get a little bit more space.
So it's got 2 positions. It's one of those, find what works best for you, your bikes and what you carry the most, and leave it there or move it a lot. Another aspect we've got is here. We've got all the different hole positions, and that also is for the different size wheels. We ship it out of the box for most road bikes, mountain bikes, but it'll go down all the way. This will work for like a 20-inch kids bikes. Another actual benefit of here, we will have aftermarket locks that'll go through there, so you can keep the bike on. Not something I would leave outside your hotel if you're at an event all night, but if you're running into a Starbucks or a Chipotle to get some food after the ride, you're fine. It's that keep the bike from getting snatched and grabbed real quick. But if you're going to leave it outside overnight, It comes with a cable to lock through, or put it in the shower in the hotel room just to. You don't want to leave it outside anyway. It's your bike. It's
true.
your baby.
It is. You invested a lot into your bike. You want to make sure that not only it transports it safely, but when you're parked somewhere, you're transporting it safely.
You want it there when you come back out.
Now, I noticed that you have different shanks on the bike racks.
Yes.
So it sounds like you have the single, you have the double tray, but then you also have 1.25" with an adapter and 2-inch shanks for both of those options.
Yep.
So why would someone pick, why would they get a different type of shank?
So there's 4 different models. There's 1 bike and 2 bike with 1.25" each and 2-inch each.
Yes.
And the reason we're offering both is because there's a whole lot of different size cars.
Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, I drive a Fiat. You cannot get a 2-inch adapter or a 2-inch hitch for a Fiat at all. So if I do want to carry friends or anything like that, I have to have 1.25". I usually use the 1 bike because the Fiat's small. I don't want to give people a ride to a lift. But if I wanted to, I could get the 1.25" 2 bike and carry a friend to an event. Or something like that. So we wanted to keep it pretty versatile. Another aspect, the mechanisms are all the same. So say you buy a 2-inch, you've got your big truck and all that, and then you buy a new car that doesn't have a 2-inch. You can actually buy a new receiver. So you put the 1.25", so you don't have to buy a whole new rack. You can just buy the new hitch, and it all bolts together the same.
Yes.
And then you still have the rack that can work on your 1.25".
So for example, for a family, let's say the wife has a car with an 1.25" hitch, the husband has a larger vehicle with a 2-inch hitch. Instead of having to worry about 2 different bike racks, you just can switch back and forth.
You just get in that one, you get the 1.25" because it comes with a 2-inch adapter, and then you just take the adapter on and off as you needed to move back and forth from each vehicle. So we wanted to offer as much flexibility for the end user as humanly possible, instead of going, nope, this is all you get. And because
give them options.
the weight rating is pretty good, it's pretty high, but it's not crazy high kind of thing.
It still works.
We can do it with both sizes.
That's good to know. Yeah, because I know for the 1.25" hitch receiver crowd, sometimes when that's your only option, you don't have that many options for bike racks that work well and still can carry those heavier bikes. So that makes so much sense. Now, I personally have had good experience with the 1.25", even with a 2-inch adapter, because I personally enjoy that anti-rattle bolt, tightening that down. Now, I do have to keep around a 3/4-inch wrench in my car for that to make sure it's secure. But I'm also not taking a bike rack off of my car that often, at least my personal car.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Here at eTrailer, we do a lot of swapping around of different bike racks, and I did find that the other type of shank is a little easier because I don't have to use tools.
Yes. And let me show you on this one. We use it on our 2-inch. So it's our patented no wobble system. So obviously on our 1.25", we just use a regular threaded hitch pin. So our no wobble is basically a spin and a screw and a threadless hitch pin. There's there's a little U-loop. So you put this through, and as you tighten this, it pulls it up against here, and that's what takes all the wobble out. So obviously you can see with nothing in, there's a fair amount of wobble. You put in, and this is one thing, we're a little bit backwards from other brands. A lot of other brands say put your hitch in, tighten it, then put the hitch pin, because the hitch pin's integral to the no wobble. Ours is backwards, so we get a lot of phone calls. Hey, it's not working. Oh, you did it backwards, So you put this in, and then it's pretty simple. You don't need a tool, and you can get it about like that. And the wobble's all gone. Great. All by hand. Didn't have to get sweaty. Didn't have to get a tool. Nothing. Thank you for letting us come by and share our new product with you.
Super excited. Well, my name is Evangeline here at eTrailer.
I'm Sean with Hollywood Racks.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, well, give us a call or send us a message here at etrailer.com.